Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Throughout the world, only one company produces all types of business machines and systems, Remington Rand, who now invite you to play What's My Line?
Desi Arnaz.
You know, I have a lot of trouble speaking English with my eyes open. This, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. This is pretty rough. What was the answer to that question, John?
It was a two-part question, Desi. If you'll break it down into two questions, would you like to ask the specific question, does our guest write books?
Yes.
Yep.
He writes books. That's a big help. Have any of your books ever been made into a motion picture?
Nope.
That's good. Go ahead, Don.
Mr. Allen.
Do you have a famous father?
Yep.
Are you Mr. Randolph Churchill?
Yep. Will you sign in, please, sir?
Carlson, is that right, sir?
Mr. Carlson, where are you from? Richland Hills, Texas.
Richland Hills, Texas. Well, it's nice to have a Texan with us.
Do you work indoors?
No.
That's one down and 9 to go, Mr. Arnaz.
I don't work indoors.
Nobody in Texas works indoors.
I guess so.
Not in Texas.
Wide open spaces. I'm going to be in Texas next week. Maybe I'll come to you for one of these services if you could tell me.
I hope it'll be nice.
Yeah. If I went to you for one of these, will I feel better after I got through with it?
Yes?
Mr. Carlson, since you work out of doors, does locomotion have anything to do with your job?
Yes.
I mean, is it unlike an airplane, for example, that is average? Everybody uses those. Do you have some other mode of transportation in the air other than an airplane?
You mean a standard commercial airliner?
All right, John, yes.
That's fine. Yeah, your answer would be yes.
Yes.
Would it be a form of locomotion such as a helicopter?
Yes. It's a whirlybird. Don't call it a helicopter. It's a whirlybird.
I was in one down in Tampa. That's what made me think of it. Do you operate a helicopter line?
Yes.
And Mr. Arnaz, I want you to meet Mr. Carlson because he's going to be in Jamestown tomorrow to fly you and Miss Lucy to your... And actually,
you better go get some rest, huh?
You better go home and get some rest. Actually, Mr. Carlson, and by the way, I think statistics are very interesting in this degree. He's one of the test pilots for Bell Aircraft, but this is the third man in the United States to get a helicopter license.
Marvelous.
Mr. Carlson, thanks very much. We gave him a rough time. It was nice to have you with us and watch my life. Nice going, panel. That was a tough one. We thought we'd do much better. Now, in just a moment, we're going to meet tonight's mystery guest. But first, for a message from Remington Rand, we switch you to the CBS remote unit.
This is weather, one of nature's ever-changing mysteries. It affects every one of us every day of our lives, and yet we know relatively little about it. Weather, that's something we'd all like to do something about, isn't it? And so tonight we've brought you down here to Remington Rand's New York Computing Center in order that we might show you that something actually is being done about it. The hero of our story tonight is the giant electronic brain developed by Remington Rand, UNIVAC. Now, recent experiments show that future use of UNIVAC may give us faster and more accurate weather predictions than were ever possible before. You see, UNIVAC can take the past histories of thousands and thousands of storms analyze them, compare them with developing conditions, and make predictions, all in a matter of minutes. Calculations that would ordinarily take hundreds of man-hours to complete. Data from guided weather rockets, radar observation stations, weather stations, all of this can be fed into the computer through these magnetic tapes at a rate of 12,000 numbers or letters per second. The memory tanks make immediately available 12,000 additional units of information. And all of this complex weather data is analyzed in the heart of the UNIVAC, the electronic central computer, capable of making over 2,000 mathematical calculations per second. Now, here is where we get the answers. You might call it the voice of UNIVAC. Actually, it's a high-speed printer that prints results at the rate of 600 lines a minute. So you can see that UNIVAC is both fast and versatile. But most important is the assurance that UNIVAC will give you the right answer. And that's made possible by UNIVAC's unique ability to check itself on possible errors. Let's watch right now as UNIVAC puts itself through one of these self-examinations. Here it is checking on some of its own units. It's really an amazing system, isn't it? Amazing and yet so wonderfully practical. Remington Rand makes 4 basic UNIVAC models. The general purpose UNIVAC, which you've seen tonight, UNIVAC Scientific, UNIVAC File Computer, UNIVAC Punched Card Computer. Each of them capable of literally hundreds of applications, from weather forecasting to complete business control. Today, UNIVAC is saving time and increasing efficiency for business, industry, and government. And of course, that is the business of Remington Rand.
Do the blindfolds all in place panel?
Yes, Mr. Daly.
Senor.
Is the picture that's coming in the music called Picnic?
That's right. That's what I'm
What did
It
you
is
say?
picnic?
Is the picture coming a picnic?
Well, it is a
right.
picnic. I've seen it previewed, and it's just wonderful. Are you the young lady that plays the lead in Picnic? Kim Novak?
Kim Novak?
Have you heard that the American Tobacco Company is going to put a filter on Old Smoky? Have you heard that? Might as well change the subject.
UNIVAC, the giant electronic brain made only by Remington Rand, takes business statistics from magnetic tape, letters, numbers, and punctuation marks, processing them through its electronic circuits at phenomenal speeds. UNIVAC can compute payrolls electronically, then produce printed checks in a flash. Over 8,000 checks an hour with this high-speed printer. UNIVAC leads the field of electronic computing.
Till next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Arlene.
Good night, and good night, Desi.
Good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Desi.
Good night, John.
Good night, Mr.
Did
Al.
you hear about the boy who won the $100,000 in the big surprise? They just caught him this afternoon. His father, he got away with the money. He bought 5 Fanny Farmer candy stores before he...
Good night, Fred, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?